No matter how many times we do this, I'm still not used to it, dude. Still a rookie. Even though this is episode 102 of the MMA Fight Pass Hammer Fist podcast. 102, Archie. Man, dude, going by quick.
That's it. Yeah, another podcast. And 102, we have a special guest, like always. And every guest that we have, Tom, like, is a professional, right? Either they're amateur or they're fighting in the cage as amateurs, but they're all diehards. They all love the sport. Take over, Tom.
Yes, professional, amateur, whatever you want to call it. We're here supporting the martial artists in the Central Valley and all around the world, anywhere we can. But like a lot of times on the show, guys, we're wanting to support the locals. Now, Mark Gutierrez from Elite Monterey, California. Now, he's from Visalia, California. He's from the Central Valley. And I met Mark Gutierrez. Am I saying your last name right? Gutierrez?
Yeah, you got it.
Now, I met Mark way back in the day. As a lot of you guys know, when Tachi Palace and Gladiator Challenge was going on up in Porterville on the tribal land, the different MMA fights. No matter how many times we do this, I'm still not used to it.
It's okay.
Little delay right there, maybe?
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
It's all good. Anyhow, way back in those days when everybody was, all the schools were mixing it up and we were all going up to these casino fights. When I first met Mark, I believe you were training with Mark Delacruz and maybe even with the professor out there at Samurai Dojo, Scott Harper.
I was at Scott's gym and Mark was the jiu-jitsu instructor. So
that's when I first met you, Mark. And I know you've been training martial arts for some time. And now Mark is over there in a beautiful spot. He's over there living that coastal life in Monterey Bay, right? Is that where your school at, Eliteteammonterey?
Yeah, so Monterey is like the peninsula, and there's a lot of little towns around it. So mine is in Seaside, which is like, it takes you maybe 10 minutes to get there from Monterey. It's really close.
I've been there. It's freaking beautiful, man.
It's a nice spot. It's a good spot for sure.
You're a lucky man. I know you did a lot of your training over here, and you did a lot of your training in jiu-jitsu. That's where I know you from. But before the jiu-jitsu days, Mark, as a youngster, did you wrestle or do any other type of martial art, or was jiu-jitsu the first thing that you stepped into?
I would say, I played sports, so I did football and track and lifted weights. But I would say jiu-jitsu is like the first martial arts I really stuck to. Like I tried like a couple kung fu classes at some places in downtown Visalia.
Morse karate.
I don't remember. It was a little spot on Main Street, and we went in, and it was like a situational thing. We're like, all right, this one guy's going to be practicing fighting 6 dudes, and you're going to be holding him here, and first day of class, I don't even know what's going on. But, so it's.
I think I did a couple classes there.
Yeah, so it was probably a good time. But jiu-jitsu is really kind of what got me into martial arts, essentially.
So, like I like to ask everybody, I mean, a lot of us went into jiu-jitsu at some point for some reason. When I first saw jiu-jitsu, it was just happened to be on a pay-per-view at a buddy's house when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And it was, I believe it was Extreme Cage Fighting. It was one of the first ones. And it was Ralph Gracie I saw go in there, and he fought the karate guy and the kung fu guy and a boxing guy all in one day. But he used the jiu-jitsu, and it was when they were doing like multiple fights in one day.
Oh yeah,
and I remember he had beat like 4 of these dudes. Like they were all, like I said, the karate guy, the kung fu guy, the boxing guy. That's where I saw the jiu-jitsu. Where did you first see it? Was it UFC, or what was your first experience seeing like another man beat another man with jiu-jitsu?
Man, I kind of fell into it. I initially went to Samurai Dojo because I thought we were going to learn how to fight with swords. Me and Mitchell Wyckoff. I don't know if you remember Mitchell.
I remember.
But, so we went to Samurai because we wanted to fight with swords, and we ended up taking a couple of Scott's martial art classes, and then, overseeing the MMA guys practicing, went to try that, and then from there, you just kind of got hooked on the MMA classes. It was like a circuit style class where you're doing some MMA stuff and you're punching the bag. and then taking Mark's jiu-jitsu classes. You know, jiu-jitsu kind of just came natural to my body style.
And dude, back then, man, those were the crazy days. A lot different than now, because there was no black belts really in the valley. There was very few. Like, to have a blue belt back then, there was a lot of guys with blue belts, and like a lot of the guys that had blue belts back then, I would say, were probably black belt level of today, right? You know what I mean? They were wearing, some of them, they were wearing the blue belt for so long, like there was nobody to promote any of us.
Yeah, it wasn't as saturated. Like today, a blue belt today, I would say, is like a black belt from 10 years ago. Like, the jiu-jitsu is so advanced. But back at the time, like, it was rare to see a brown belt. Like, if a brown belt came in, you're like, oh man, this guy is is the man right here. You know, like,
right?
Like, you're a white. I was a white belt. I didn't get my blue belt until I started training with Tom Knox. But I remember at Samurai just seeing guys come in that were, you know, really, really good. And it was interesting, because at the time jiu-jitsu wasn't as evolved as it is now, and it wasn't as saturated as it is now, at least in Visalia.
Yeah, now it's all over the place, and it's a whole different thing.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's
hey, Tom,
good thing.
It is great.
Hey, Tom, you guys are talking about back then, you know, give us an idea, or the fans or the people out there, what year, what time frame was the jiu-jitsu just happening when you guys were just getting into it? I know you know, 10 years ago, it's like about, you know, 2010, is that the time frame, or is it before then? Or, you know, just give us an idea how long this has been going on in the Valley, right?
Well,
yeah, so I graduated.
Go ahead, Mark.
I graduated high school in 2006. And then I started training jiu-jitsu the first year out of high school. So around 2007, I was like 18, 19 years old. And now I'm pretty sure I'm 32 years old.
Well, I do know this. Dude, my brain has been scrambled. What I do know is this. My first MMA fight up in Porterville, I was 28 years old. I'm 45 now. Okay, so I know for a fact that the training here in Visalia,
17 years
now the training here in Visalia with Jiu-Jitsu martial arts and my garage, the box, and Jiu-Jitsu was one of the main ones. That was like 2 years before I fought.
That was before my time as well. Like, I never trained with, like, Matt Sir, I believe. Mike Sir. I never trained with him at Jiu-Jitsu. I trained a couple days at the box, but then my first introduction really was going to Samurai.
Yep, and Samurai has definitely been his school's around before, like, our jiu-jitsu, but it wasn't. He was doing karate and stuff.
Yeah, doing a lot of stuff.
But like, when Mike Sir opened up that little Jiu-Jitsu martial arts, that was when everybody was in that room. Tom Knox, Mark De La Cruz, myself, Luis Gonzalez, all the guys that like separated and opened up gyms, we were all under that one roof right there.
It's pretty cool.
So,
like,
it's very cool.
Yeah.
But somebody that changed the whole game, because when I had Central Valley martial arts going, I was I had reached like a purple belt under Chingina, but none of us were black belts, so we couldn't promote anybody. When Tom Knox broke off and started training with Cleber Luciano and earned his black belt, he changed everything, because he became the first guy in Visalia that could promote people.
Yeah,
that changed everything right there. It did, and it helped out guys like yourself. What point did you decide to go into that gym to gain your do what you did? Because of that, you're at where you're at right now, right?
Yeah, I would say like definitely. Like, it's just Tom's gym was growing, and it was just more training partners for me. Like, I felt like at Samurai, although the instruction was good, I was kind of like a big fish in a small pond. You know, it would be hard for me to find five consecutive rounds of guys that are really going to be maybe my size or bigger, or just better than me at jiu-jitsu, you know, like a lot better. And at Elite, I switched over. Like, I was doing really well. I thought I was awesome when I was at Samurai Dojo. I was crushing everybody, right? And then I go to Elite and I just get destroyed for like 6 months to a year. I remember just being nervous going to practice. I'd see guys, their cars there. Oh, Andre's there. Oh man, I'll probably just
that guy's here again.
But,
yeah, I'm from Elite also, Mark, and
I remember.
Yeah, under Tom, and since the white belt under Tom, so I'll be one of the adults hopefully in a few years as a black belt. I'm a brown belt right now, but I started there as a white belt, and I got attracted to that place because of the level of intensity, and there's folks that I guess like us, that Mark and Tom, that we just love the sport quite a bit, and we're looking for that extra challenge. That just happened to be the first gym I landed at, and now guys talk about different gyms that are out there, and really, it's an tribute to Tom. And this is not rigged up, but guys tell me about how tough some of the guys are in the gym. I said, that's cool. Just come to a practice once in a while to Elite in Visalia, and there'll be there somebody. Doesn't matter how good you are outside of in your gym, there'll be somebody at Elite that'll match you.
There's so many of them though. It's just like, it's a deep room. Like, I go in there and I'm just like, all right, it's gonna be one of those days. Like, if you want to find it, you can find guys that are chill, but if you want all 6 of your sparring rounds to be hard, you can find those rounds, and that's really good. Like,
yeah, it's great for pre-competition workouts there.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like, you can go in there, and if you're not getting ready for a competition, or you don't want that kind of intensity, you can find that kind of dude that's willing to do that. Hey, but we all know if you're competing in MMA or jiu-jitsu competition, if you really are wanting to do good, like you're going to compete in the Pan Ams or the Worlds, like you want to be getting tapped out in your training room. Definitely want that. You want dudes that are going to push you all the way to the limit and make you work every second of every minute of each round. And yeah, you got to go to the place. If you're gonna go to the Worlds, or you're gonna pay your money like this year and you want to compete in the Pan Ams, it's all the way in Florida, right?
Yeah, I believe
you
so.
better be in the training room with some dudes that are good. You know what I mean?
That's the plan, right? Like,
yeah, dude. This year, our Archie, man, talk about that a little bit, guys. The IBJJF finally get some good news. You know what I mean? They put out the little training or the little map out plan of where the tournaments are going to be. Are you either one of you guys planning on making a little trip or what?
I mean, Mark, you have a school still, right? I'm guessing. How's it going with your school, or just in general? Competitors out there. You probably are around more competitors, right?
As far as me competing, I have a little tear in my meniscus that's been kind of catching, so I'm trying to get that done first, and then I'd like to start competing again. I feel a lot more knowledgeable when it comes to jiu-jitsu these days. But as far as like my students competing, I don't have any students competing at the moment, and the school is just kind of like, what's going on over here. I have it shut down still, so it's just kind of hanging out. And I'm still getting my practices in, so I have a group of guys that I still practice my jiu-jitsu with, and I'm just constantly trying to get better at jiu-jitsu and become a better instructor. Like, as I get better at jiu-jitsu, just like getting a more broad understanding. But as far as competitions go right now, we're just kind of just practicing on technique. We're just honing the jiu-jitsu, and then as things start to open up, start to get back out there, because I do have guys that are like itching like to start competing again.
Yeah. Talking about opening back up and stuff, like, is it pretty deep on lockdown over there or what?
Hey, what's up, Philip? Yeah, I mean,
Philip Dulé?
Yeah, I used to work with him.
That's my dog right there. I love that guy. Hey, that's one of the coolest fucking dudes to work with right there, man.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah. The county's still on lockdown, so we're still kind of, we just gotta wait. You gotta play the waiting game, or you open up and possibly get in trouble, which I like to stay off the radar when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm just playing it smart. I'm still hustling, trying to, make money in other ways, and just keeping a positive attitude, and then constantly still working on my jiu-jitsu. That's really the main focus.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how there's so different counties, different areas. I don't know, I guess under the different rules, because we have the state rule, and then as you go deeper, smaller into the cities, everybody has and does their different things. It's just weird. Like you guys there, Mark, you're in a different situation than others here in the valley. Guys are just like opening, but there's a little bit of everything everywhere, right, Tom? What have you noticed?
Dude, what I've noticed is this, man. You got to be careful, dude. Like certain guys, some people have more to lose than others. You know what I mean? And everybody looks at it differently, and I respect that. Some of these guys over here, they got balls, or either that, or they have money to pay the fines, because they've came to a point where they're just like, we're just fucking doing it. Fuck the government or whatever. They have that kind of mentality. Hey, if you want to have that, that's fine. I know there's guys going around with $10,000 fines or whatever, but it also seems like around here, this is what I do know for a fact, is that these guys that are in charge of giving out these fines, like, I give some mass respect to them, because they're not doing it, dude. They're not. They're being lenient about it.
I mean, you got to pay your bills, like at a certain
exactly.
point.
I think they have to understand that shit.
Yeah.
My family. I got my sister has a business that she's got fucking kids at home, and it's a business that's what she has to fucking pay her bills. She's having to work under the radar. I'm not even going to mention what it is. Yeah. But she's having to do it like totally under the radar, and it's ridiculous, dude. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So I won't get into all that. You know what I mean? Essential workers can do it. Hey, jiu-jitsu is essential for some people, especially if you're making a living off that and you got to feed your family.
Yeah.
Hey, I know it'll be open again. I'll get ranting, dude, but I know it'll be open again soon, and you'll be back doing your thing.
And that's it's been kind of a blessing in disguise, because right before we closed down, we had just had a baby, and I'm teaching every class, burning the candle at both ends, and the little sleep I was getting, I'm not getting now because we just had a baby. So like,
I'll bet.
A couple weeks up until we're about to close, I'm like feeling like I'm gonna have a heart attack. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, oh, like I'm,
hey man,
hurts to breathe.
You have a beautiful family, bro.
Thank
you have a beautiful family, dude. I was checking out your pictures, man. Whenever I set up these little deals, I kind of turn into a stalker and I start going Facebook photo.
Yeah.
Hey, but you have a beautiful family, man. Congratulations on that and everything you're doing. Your school's beautiful too, man.
Hey,
I like it, dude. It's clean.
That's clean.
It's clean,
That's
bro.
That's
hey,
it.
Are there a lot of jiu-jitsu schools right there in Monterey? There's got to be other ones, right?
There's two. So there's one that's like just straight Gracie Academy Jiu-Jitsu, like they do the Torrance Academy stuff. And then there's another one that's it's just a smaller program, so we have a few different ones, but
now what do you mean by that? I think I know what you mean, but talk about it a little bit, like, because some people may not. When you say they have like a kind of a Torrance Academy style of jiu-jitsu, to me, when I hear that, it's like that's like an old school basic Gracie jiu-jitsu system right there, right? Self-defense.
Yeah, they call it Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, so it's the techniques that they chose to teach and the style and the format, and you go through like a credential program. Essentially, you're going through and you're learning the techniques, and it's just different. It's like you can go to any academy on a Wednesday and they're going to teach the exact same thing across the board, as opposed to like me, it's just a little different. Like I just teach jiu-jitsu differently than they do, based on my knowledge and the knowledge from my professors and my mentors and stuff.
And everybody has their own flow. I like the way you teach, dude. And man, one thing I like, dude, that I hope, and we were talking about it before we went live, is, dude, I love those. I used to do that with some of my students. I'd only had a couple students that could really work with me like that. But when you put out those little flow videos, like that you sent me, I kind of tried to piece them together before we started the show. Anyhow, when you put those little videos out, bro, hey, those are legit, man. I think you ought to do more of those, dude. And I love
techniques.
You know what? Any of the techniques, whenever it doesn't matter what technique you're doing. They're all beautiful. It's the way that your partner is going with you with it. You know what I mean? Like I could tell both of you guys are totally relaxed. When you're doing like those rolling kimuras and taking the back and doing those ashiguramis, those leg locks.
Yep.
Dude, I love it, man. Hey, and one thing I love about you too is that your jiu-jitsu has evolved quite a bit, and I noticed that you're really attacking the lower half of the body. You're doing a lot of leg locks, dude.
Yeah.
Talk about the leg lock game a little bit.
Yeah, it's really it's like jiu-jitsu it's always been looked at as we just attack the upper body. We get past the legs and we attack the upper body. And if if you lose the upper body, you're gonna have to get past the legs again. But like once I started really learning about leg locks from seeing guys like Craig Jones, and then starting to study a lot more John Danaher's DVDs and going to his seminars and kind of really adopting the way that he does it, practicing that in class, drilling it outside of class. So like the videos I show you, like I'll do 50 reps of a rolling kimura to the back and practice everything perfect and just do it over and over. And then you take it to the roll and you're trying to practice it perfect. It's not about me getting the tap from the back. It's about me running through the steps perfectly. You know what I mean? Because once you get to that point, you just got to throw people into that system. If I get a kimura, I can either take your back, kick the armbar, finish the kimura, instead of it just being a single move. And with the legs, it's the same way. You introduce the legs. Now you have literally like 50% more
it's fucking crazy.
You can do. Yeah. It's
hey,
amazing.
once you get into the legs, and I suck at leg locks, but I do try to play around with them, dude. It seems like once you start, you're a white belt all over again once you start going into the leg game. But hey, I got super jealous, dude, when I seen a freaking picture of you with John Danaher.
Man,
did you go to New York?
No.
Go to New York or what?
I caught two of them one in Santa Monica and then one in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. And the first one, I drove down there and back in one day, and I was just like, let's go. Because it was $100.
Oh, really?
6-hour seminar.
So you heard about it here, and then you took a drive over there.
You just took it. So like every time I go to his seminars, it's a good thing to practice the things that he's already teaching, because when I go in there, I'm going in there with a couple problems that I need him to answer.
Did you get, when you were there, I was just like thinking about this earlier. I was like, dude, I wonder if Mark went to the class and like pulled the guy aside and like said, hey, walk me through this leg lock. Were you able to do that with him when you were at those seminars or what?
I definitely like strategically got myself closer to him with my training partner.
It seemed like you seem like the kind of guy that would do that.
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna get in there. And
how was that guy? Pretty cool dude or what?
Yeah, he's chill. He seems really nice. He's he just has such a grasp on what he knows and like the body mechanics, and it's just interesting. Like with his, like my jiu-jitsu, I always say that my jiu-jitsu before John Danaher was like, I knew a lot of things and they were inside of a room. Some of them were in filing cabinets, but some of them were just on the ground. And when I started learning from him, it's like he went in there and took all my information and put it in filing cabinets. He's like, all right, I organized it for you. And I took out some of those old techniques. Do it like this. Yeah. Don't do it like that anymore. Do it like this. And I just started doing that. And that's when my game started evolving. Now when I go in, I try to pass someone's guard. I can either pass, attack the top body, or they push me away and I just fall to the legs and start putting them into the leg systems.
Dude, I'd love to learn more about those leg locks because, dude, I suck at passing the guard, man. It doesn't matter like how many guard passes I've learned. And it's like, it's already like seems like it's embedded in me, in my head now, that I don't like passing people's guards. But once that guard is open, though, like I was watching how, not just you, but how a lot of guys, man, the legs are there all day long.
Yeah.
Hey, besides leg locks, with that John Danaher, I know because he's well known and people want to learn the leg locks from him. Is he showing other like upper body techniques at those?
Oh seminars?
Yeah.
So like I would say I rebuilt my triangles, I rebuilt my arm bars, I rebuilt my kimuras, I rebuilt my rear naked choke, and I rebuilt my guillotines and front headlock stuff.
What's something different? Hey, just say with the kimura, what was like a fine detail that changed your Kimura because of that guy?
So inside control, Kimura, you usually have guys that keep the arm just at the side and they crank it. Boom. With John, it's like as soon as you can escape that arm, you put it directly behind their back. And that's one thing I started doing. So I'd get the Kimura and I just put it behind their back. And that was like humongous when it comes to being able to get the finish.
It's those little things right there.
Small things. Yeah, small things.
Yeah.
It's
so cool. Hey, now John Danaher, am I correct? Is he a black belt under Renzo Gracie?
Yeah, so he's a black belt under Renzo.
Okay. So, man, what a trip, dude. What a trip this whole thing is.
So I slowly started seeing and studying him, but then I had a student that was training at Renzo's, moves to Monterey. I start training with him.
Yes.
That's where it's like, all right, when you see something that's working, you tend to go to it, and it's a good thing to listen. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to mentors in all areas of life, but especially in jiu-jitsu.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's why I used to love just driving around at these to just different schools all the time. Like that's one thing about back then when we talked about like the years back. None of us were under anybody. Hey, like I was just going. One weekend I'd go to a Machado school. I'd be at Machado school. The next weekend I'd go to Batata. The next weekend I could go to a Ralph Gracie school. Then I could go down to that Torrance school if I wanted. And dude, you just pick up a little piece here and there from these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I've learned how to really study DVDs and study, like actually put the work in, not just watch it, but like, hey, let's put 50 reps on this. And just at the first rep versus the 10th rep, it's going to feel different. Versus the 30th rep, it's going to feel different. You know, you're going to find out things about this. So it's fun to roll. Like I love to just roll for sure. But you have to refine that technique. It's like sharpening that blade.
Yes. And I was contemplating this at work today because when I'm at work, I just lifting stuff for hours, just so you can just go into your head, you know what I mean? And but I was thinking about what we would talk about today and watching those like how good it is to do those little rolling drills that you're doing into the technique, especially if you're doing those in repetition, because repetition is something I don't think most gyms probably don't do enough repetition. Like as much, the more you do it, if you're doing it 50 times, 30 times, 50 times or whatever, and over, your body just locks it in, your brain locks it in, and all of a sudden it becomes second nature, just like walking or doing things that you do all the time. It's like when you get it to second nature, it's like if I'm in my guard and the guy makes the mistake of pulling one of his arms out, like you don't even have to think about going for a triangle. Your body just
Triangle City.
You've done it so many times, it just does it. And then all you have to do is execute it.
Yep.
So, dude, it's a trippy thing, man.
So it's the technique, practicing the techniques, and then these little principles that you have, like triangle, one arm in, one arm out.
Exactly.
You tell someone that, and they know it now. All right, all I need to do is get one arm in and one arm out. And it's like having these little heuristics you can use to teach your students. Same thing with like the leg locks. Whoever controls the inside position controls the ashigarami game. All I need to do is get my leg on the inside of yours. You know what I mean? Like
now, when you say ashigarami, when you're talking ashigarami, are you talking like outside heel hooks mainly?
So an ashigarami is just two legs controlling one leg. So you have series of ashigaramis. You have straight ashigarami or the single leg X. You have 50-50, which is outside ashigarami. Right? You have the saddle, which is cross ashigarami. So it's like using these Japanese names. It's not like you're like single leg X, 411, DOA. It's like straight ashigarami, cross ashigarami, outside ashigarami, reverse ashigarami. Like I feel that helps you understand it, because then you attack the heel hooks from those positions. Those are all the different control positions. And then from there, you do heel hooks, you do Achilles locks, you do knee bars, you do toe holds.
All that stuff. Archie, go back to that clip again, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk us through this clip right here. Okay. Bring it back up. Because it looks like you finished with a knee bar right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a De La Hiva, and then you do a little back step.
Can you rewind that a little bit more, Archie?
It's in loop, so it's just gonna loop right now.
So yeah, De La Hiva, and that's the thing about the De La Hiva is there's a possible knee bar, or that would be a cross ashigarami entry.
Cross.
So there would be like cross ashigarami right there, and if I'm faced completely opposite, where my back is facing my training partner, that would be the reverse ashigarami, which is usually where you get the knee bars from. So it's kind of an in-between position at that point.
Falls right into it.
Yeah, Korea, what's up?
Which is nice about the leg locks is because it kind of plays really well into the De La Hiva and Berimbolo game. Like you go Berimbolo on me, and it's like, all right, I can just start attacking your legs now.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
That the video I sent you on Messenger, can you play that one?
Yeah,
where he's doing the leg locks a little bit and loop that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So go ahead, Tom. Keep it going.
Yeah. Hey, dude, in your garage right there, you got the battle ropes behind you. Looks like you got some pads back there.
Yeah,
a training
got the
dummy.
battle ropes. I got a grappling dummy. I got some weights. This is my little war room right here.
Hey, have you messed around with any type of Zoom training or anything, like online training? Have you tried to mess around with it a little bit?
I did a little bit of that. I did a course. So I made a grappling dummy course that you can use with the grappling dummy to kind of learn.
There you go.
You know? And then I gave that to my students. And then just constantly making videos on Instagram and Facebook and trying to just offer value as much as possible.
Oh, yeah, I was showing that earlier. I'm over here confused.
But yeah, it's as far as leg locks go, if you can find someone that you can practice with that's safe, it's really nice.
Is this the one, Tom?
That's one of them. So yeah, these are seated entries into cross ashigarami from the butterfly position. And this is an example of me just getting reps in so I can understand it when you're in those stressed positions of rolling.
Yeah.
All the little intricacies.
Play that a couple times there, Arch.
Yeah.
So it's just like this idea of that if I can get your hands supposed to the mat, your legs become light, and then I can start manipulating your legs into positions.
So you use that seated butterfly guard a lot?
Yeah, it's definitely a position of attack I use a lot for guys that are either standing or on their knees. Like if you can do guard recoveries back to butterfly. And
I think butterfly guard is I think I like butterfly guard more than anything.
Oh, it's huge. You're usually sweeping from it or doing arm drags to the back, right? But with the legs, now you can use that as a position to switch everything. So you have the idea of offensive and defensive cycles, and it's like the person that's passing is in the offensive cycle, the top guy. If I can switch it so now he's in the defensive cycle because I got his legs, the game's going the opposite direction now.
Did you know who was one of the first guys that I would see in tournaments? He fought in MMA later on, way back in the day, and I know you know who he is. The first guy I would see do this from the butterfly guard to an outside heel hook was Dean Lister.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine.
Remember Dean Lister?
Yeah,
Dean Lister's the OG that did. He's one of before I knew about Danaher or any of those guys, and Jeff Glover. Too.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, you know who calls themselves a leg lock monster?
JC Lamas.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
it's pretty good of him.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
But Dean Lister, that dude was sick with that outside heel hook.
He still is.
The one that Oh, bro, brutal, man.
Yeah,
brutal.
He's the man. He's got a tough Achilles.
Dude. When are you going to be taking a little trip back down to Visalia for a little visit, bud?
Man, I don't know. Like, it all really depends on what's going on. We've been kind of just camping out. And
do you see some a light at the end of the tunnel with this virus still, and you opening your school back up, or what?
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. We'll be back. We'll be back stronger. Right now, it's just reinvesting in the school. I added 400 square feet of mats. So we went from 800 to 1,200.
That's always a plus.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
and then more wall mats because we've been having people freaking smashing through the walls, so that's gonna be nice. And then kind of just reformatting how I want to run the school when I go back. You know, more beginners classes at available times for these people. You know, like 6 o'clock, 6 to 6:45, beginners class Monday through Friday. You know, like really trying to build foundations in these people that I'm teaching jiu-jitsu to.
well, one thing I know, man, I know that there's a bunch of people out there that want to train that are afraid to walk. And I'll tell you what, dude, I've been training martial arts since I was a kid. And I'll tell you what, dude, this is the honest truth about me. I'm still super scared and nervous to walk into a gym, dude.
Yeah, it can be.
I am. I'm not even kidding you, dude. Hey, for me to go into even more now. Like when I was a white belt, it seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I mean? But now I'm afraid when I go into a gym now, you don't know what to expect, dude. Is there going to be some young buck that's going to try to rip my arm off?
Hey.
How's the instructor going to take me?
Yeah.
How are people going to treat me? Guys, I'll tell you this. If you live in Monterey or you're around Monterey, check out Mark. One thing I know about Mark, from the very first day I met Mark, he was always respectful to me, always super nice. Anytime I come across Mark Gutierrez at a jiu-jitsu competition or at a fight, Mark was always respectful to me. So one thing I know about Mark, he's the easy guy to get along with. If you can see by the drills that he's doing and the way he's flowing, it's a certain type of person. You can tell by someone's jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? I can tell a lot by a guy's jiu-jitsu. But what I know about you for sure, easy guy to get along with. He will help you. You're not going to get hurt if you go to his gym. Just walk in there with respect. I always say this on the show, guys. Dude, once you step into a jiu-jitsu gym and you find like the right spot and the right coach, it is literally like having a second family. And no matter what's going on in your life, like tough times at work, or maybe your relationship's not going so good, or whatever it is, you're stressed, you're depressed, you got anxiety. Hey, dude, if you have that jiu-jitsu family or any martial art, but really, me and Archie talk about it a lot, jiu-jitsu for sure. You walk into it, man, dude, look at that, the smile on his face, bro. And you go in there and you see the people that are smiling, dude. Everybody, what's up, bro? Hey, how you been? This and that.
We have to go over there, Tom. You know it, right?
That's the same smile. The same smile I put on when I have your heel, too. It's the same smile.
Hey, dude. And the good thing is, you know what? I'm scared to death of leg locks. I love them to death. But, dude, if a guy even touches my ankle, I'll just tap early. But one thing I know, like, if I was rolling with a guy like Mark, I know Mark's not going to grab my ankle and rip it off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nowadays, Tom, you're right. You're not sure who you're going to roll with. You know, you
have to be careful, man.
Yeah, you need to talk to your opponent. Say, hey, guy, you know, my shoulder's injured, my legs, or whatever. Because sometimes we go out there with injuries, so it's always good to let your opponent know protect yourself. Yeah. Period. You're protecting yourself from getting injured, and tell your guy, hey, I'm getting ready for a tournament. Let's go full blast. Whatever you want, that's where you're going there, right?
If you know a guy, hey, the only time I'm going full blast with the guy is if I know the guy and he knows me and I know I'm not going to get hurt. This is the best thing what I found when you go into schools with a guy that you don't know. Hey, he could be wearing a white belt, a blue belt. It don't matter, dude. Some people, the belt, it's a color of a cloth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It is.
I have some white belts that are just monsters. Like,
bro, I've had it happen to me, dude. When I tell a guy when I don't know him, I go, hey, man, I'm just here to learn. I'm just here to learn. You know what I mean? I go, I'm here to learn. Don't hurt me. And I don't care what belt they're wearing. Hey, and then I'm just a smile on my face. And then usually, hey, they might tap me out right away. Even if I don't think the guy can tap me out, like I'm not trying to go nuts, dude. Don't go nuts, man.
Yeah, don't take the first tap. Don't take the first tap.
Don't take it. Let them tap you. Dude, there's nothing wrong with getting tapped. It's all good, man. Hey,
yeah, it's all good.
And sometimes, dude, some of the best nights when you leave a jiu-jitsu room is when you just got destroyed, but you didn't get hurt. Yeah, you leave the mat, you're just like, dude, that was like a video game, like fucking Mario Brothers on the last level. How many times? You know what I mean? Like, it is like a video game.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man. it's a beautiful thing if you get in the right room. So that was my point, guys. If you're in or around Monterey and you want to get some jiu-jitsu in, support our guy Mark Gutierrez. Hey, he's from the Valley, and hey, we're, like I said, the Valley. We're making a story about the Valley. All these podcasts together. If you watch them from the very beginning, if you were to just over time watch MMA Fight Pass, the Hammer Fist podcast from episode 1 to now, episode 2, you will get. There's going to be a story pieced together, right, Archie?
Yeah,
we put together one hell of a story. There's a ton of stories about the whole history that I know of jiu-jitsu in the Central Valley and other martial arts too, but a lot about jiu-jitsu, right, Archie? Like,
yeah,
we've traveled and been to almost every school too with the podcast. We've went to almost every school in the Valley, and dude, now we're getting contacts, man. Crosby, Gracie, yourself, all these different people. And we have invitations now. Batata, dude, a bunch of badass jiu-jitsu guys. Bro.
Building
and we're going to be going to all these schools, dude. As soon as this damn virus kind of clears up.
Yeah.
We'll come to your school too, man, and we'll do the Inside the Dojo. That's one of our shows that we do.
You know, every Saturday we have an open mat, and it's
that's what we can go on a deck up.
You know, we play music. You got homeboys that bring donuts. There's just like a party. Yeah, it's like it's been kind of on pause because of COVID, but after that, we're gonna just
it'll start back up again.
It'll start back.
But hey, dude, and we'll go out to lunch with you. You show us a little spot, man. We'll go get some clown chowder or whatever.
Do some technique, and it'll be awesome, man. It's
yep. You're the kind of guy that I know I could go to the gym, and like. At my age, dude, I don't have nothing to prove with nobody.
Hey, that's
real. I still do want to get on the mat, and I want to roll around and get rolled up. Yeah. I just don't want to get hurt because I have to work for a living.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I've always been like I've gotten hurt, you know, a good amount of times, and it's just, you know, I like to teach jiu-jitsu with the focus on how to not get hurt.
Dude, that's one of the best things. Joseph Asir.
That's my
okay. What's up, Joseph? Thank you for tuning in, my brother.
Yeah,
is that one of your guys?
He's a purple belt, and then he's a black belt in karate as well. He's a monster.
Nice. He's a martial artist. Looks like a cool ass dude.
So there you go. He says on Saturday we're going to be there, Mark, at your gym. I think it's wink, wink. No.
Hey.
You're right, Tom.
Hey, dude, our show, man, the Inside the Dojo is one of the funnest things ever that I've done. And, dude, right now we've got all these invitations, but we're going to get back out on the road. It just takes, like, money and planning and stuff to do these.
Yeah, most definitely.
Especially once we leave the Valley. Because we've hit up mostly all the main schools in the Valley. But now dude, we're getting some badass invitations to go to some really cool schools. And we're videotaping all this stuff, too. And we don't know what's going to become of it. All I know is me and Archie, we get to meet hella cool people and talk to cool people like you. And, dude, we get a little bit of knowledge at each spot, right?
That's it. Collecting it. Gold collector.
Dude, hey, people ask me all the time. They go, hey, man, how much are you making on that podcast? It's the number one question I get.
Yeah.
People, no, I'm serious. Family members, people at work and whatever. And I go, dude, I'll tell you what's more than any kind of money is when we get to go to like one of these gyms and train and learn like one little thing from Dan Camarillo.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Like I've known who Dan is for years, but when we went and did the Inside the Dojo, and he showed us an armbar that I had seen and done probably a million times from other coaches.
Yeah,
and it was one little thing, dude. And he looked at me. Hey, he looked at me like a school teacher, bro. And he's all, hey. Grab the arm and do it like this. Like, and I'm just like, yes, sir, dude.
Yes,
I was like, dude, I took that in. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Just like Batata, we'll go over there and we'll get a little loop show from him. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. There's all parts of California, even outside of California now. But gosh, darn it, you know, it's okay. We're building a list, like Mark said. We're building network, you know, and hopefully we're probably going to have 2 extra seats in the car, so we got to raffle out those 2 seats when we go to places.
Hey man, you guys are always welcome here. You know, it's a cool vibe.
Well, Archie just said, and that'll probably be a couple guys from here. If you're willing, if you get in that seat, that means you have to hold that video camera sometimes while me and Archie are on the mat.
That's okay. That's okay. We got tripods everywhere. So
nah. Anyhow, we'll get over there though. Hey, Monterey Bay, guys, if you haven't been to Monterey Bay or Seaside, freaking beautiful, dude. Beautiful.
That's
It's one of the
fun.
most beautiful, one of the prettiest parts of California. And Monterey Bay, you can go over there, you can hit that Monterey Bay aquarium up. Like that's something you'll never see anywhere else. I've been there. It's
Nice
something else.
beaches, nice walking
Oh, yeah.
paths. It's
And one of my favorite things ever, food, man.
food.
Like, and I'm serious, dude. I'll like a dumbass. I'll spend like way more than you should on food.
Hey, Mark,
No,
I mean,
if I think it's gonna be, you know what I mean?
hey, Tom, I'll let you ask the question, but Mark, we got some food stuff going on. We haven't. Let's just ask what's the food out there, Tom. What's the favorite question we ask?
Yeah, the favorite question is this right here.
Money.
Like
in your
say
pocket.
it's a day, you got all the money in your wallet. You're not worried about bills or whatever, and you can pick anywhere you want to in Monterey for you and your wife or your family to go eat. What would it be? Like, what would be the spot? You're not worried about the money, and you really want to just go and do it.
Well, you know what? I think in Monterey, it's going to be one heck of a
Think
spot.
about it now. Think about it. Doesn't have to be a fancy ass place.
Yeah,
it might just be some badass place that you like.
There's a couple go-tos. We definitely like poke, so like a little fish and some rice.
So what would be the spot?
Yeah, poke is nice. There's a place called the Poke House. It's in Monterey, and we go there quite a bit. It's a nice post jiu-jitsu meal. You know, it's clean.
Right.
It's good. But then, you know.
What if you want to get sloppy, though, dude?
I love burgers. So, you know, we go, there's a place called Alvarado Brewing Company, and they make a really good cheeseburger. So we go there for sure.
Alvarado?
Alvarado Brewing Company. If you drink beer, they have good beer there too as well.
I like a little beer from time to time.
Yeah, here and there.
That's it. It looks like root beer.
Yeah, it's
you know what, dude? Today on episode 102, I got this Firestone Union Jack.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Well, there you go. Nice
awesome, man. Well, dude, hey, man. Mark, you know, all I know you is, like I said, I never got I don't think I ever maybe trained with Mark maybe once or twice or whatever. But all the run-ins I ever had with Mark, how I know you is through Mark De La Cruz and Samurai. But basically, whenever me and you would run into each other would be at a jiu-jitsu tournament or at an MMA fight. Yeah. Like I said, though, I always got a great vibe off of you. You were always very respectful to me, and I was the same to you. And so I got respect for you, man. I hope your school goes really good over there, dude. You got any sponsors or anything like that? Like any shout-outs you want to give a little put out to?
We just started a new soap company. It's called Savage Soap Company. So I can get you guys some links. If you go to my Instagram, either Eliteteammonterey or This Is Marks, MARX. It's my Instagram. I post, you know, jiu-jitsu techniques, health tips, you know, things on personal development that have helped me kind of get to where I've gotten. But yeah, just my own Instagram. You know, I'm here to just try to help people as much as possible and, you know, keep it positive.
Is that it right there at the bottom, Mark? This is.
Yeah, that's me right there. This is MARX. So
MARX. Let's fix that. We're gonna keep that on the screen here for a little bit.
Yeah. So reach out. You know, I like people reaching out, asking questions about jiu-jitsu. And
did I spell Monterey correct? Did I spell Monterey? Elite Monterey.
Yeah, that's it right there. It's Elite. If you type that in, you'll find it. It comes.
Is it one M or two M's? There you go.
It's a 2 M's, so one at the end of team and then one right at the beginning.
There you go. That's how you keep going, Mark. Keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, like I said, just sharing jiu-jitsu and sharing my journey and trying to cut the learning curve for as many people as possible. You know, jiu-jitsu is about self-defense, but a lot of it's about being comfortable in your own skin on a daily basis and being able to get rid of your stress and have, like, you know, reliable ways you can get rid of your stress that are good for you.
Right.
Boy, isn't that the truth, dude? And it is really good for that. It is super good for that.
Empowering, you know, it's not all about.
It can be one of the best medicines, man.
Oh man, it's you know, people lose weight, people freaking have better relationships with their families, with their friends, with themselves. You know, a lot of people hate themselves. They train jiu-jitsu and they start to just find themselves through the grind of jiu-jitsu. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot about yourself, right, Archie?
Yeah, no, it really helps you out not only to strengthen and harden your body and lose the weight, but you know the most important muscle that it helps you out is in your mind, right? To keep be a stronger person mentally, and you know, You hear it all the time. People that train jiu-jitsu, all of a sudden are out shopping at a grocery store. Somebody's starting to get beat up, and the jiu-jitsu guy, all of a sudden, his mind just focuses and shifts to, okay, let me get this guy in an armbar or something.
Hey, go to night.
Yeah, there you
go. Never know, man. Never know. Hopefully that never happens for anybody. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
But
preparation, though, it's better to be prepared.
I've seen it happen. That's for sure.
Definitely better to be what do they say? It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So
exactly. Hey, man. And if you never have to use it, you will definitely use it in the training room. That's for sure.
Yeah, get those takedowns. You gotta learn how to take people down. It's a big one. We really focus a lot on taking people down and stopping takedowns, and then entries into submissions off of takedowns.
Oh, really? Nice. That sounds like some good technique there. I mean, transition off of takedown. So you're saying as let's say you and I are rolling, as I'm taking you down, you're then transitioning to your next move to whatever it may be, you're saying?
Yeah, it can be, a lot of entries into the front headlock are off of takedown, single legs, double legs. So having a really strong front headlock and then a transition from front headlock to the back is huge.
Yeah.
That, like, once I started working front headlock, like some more wrestling and like, front headlock to the back, go behinds, and man, that kind of changed everything for me.
Well, I love the front headlock, dude. Front headlock, darces and anaconda choke.
Exactly. High
Peruvian neckties.
What about already? Batata front headlock?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Have you heard of?
Hey, but there's nothing like you will learn a front headlock in jiu-jitsu, but there's nothing like if you learn that front headlock from a wrestler.
Yeah, it's the wrestling.
You add it into the wrestling front headlock. Hey, and the different, just the different things that wrestlers can do with that front headlock. It's a little bit different, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, hey, dude, you combine those things together. Oh, dude.
Yeah,
good Lord.
Like either being able to snap people down into front headlocks, or they shoot in and you get front headlock off of a sprawl. But yeah, being able to know your way around someone's head and their arms is humongous.
And I think you know your way around.
I think you hit it right the spot with somebody's head under your arm, and if you know what to do with it, I think you got.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of times you can snap them down to the ground and their face touches the mat. You know what I mean? Like
that's a beautiful move right there, Tom.
Yeah,
beautiful as always. Well, damn, dude, this has been a good time, man. Hey, before we close up this show, guys, Mark, of course, he's from Elite Team Visalia. I want to give a shout out to the belt promotion last night of the Josh Cisneros. He trains at Visalia Elite Team. A lot of you guys know who Josh Cisneros is. He got leveled up last night to his black belt. Well deserved. This young man is, he's been on the podcast before. Super strong competitor. The sky's the limit for Josh and his brother Jacob, and the younger brother too.
Oh man,
I'm not sure the younger. All three of them. They are something else.
Yeah, Tom's done a great job with those guys. He's Tom's a great instructor, man. I attribute a lot of what I have to training with that guy, man. He helped me out more than I can repay.
Yep. So yeah, congratulations to those guys. Congratulations to everybody that's going to be competing soon. I know a lot of guys are already signed up for these IBJJF tournaments. Hey, dude, and like the way they got this mapped out, like you're having to do some traveling if you're going to compete in IBJJF. You're going to have to be paying some money, and you're going to be, you know what I mean? It's not cheap to compete right now if you want to be in one of those big tournaments.
And the level, man, everybody's so good. Like,
yep. And those slots probably fill up, don't they? Like, there's only so many spots.
Yeah, only so many spots, and it's going off like point system now. Like, you kind of have to have other competition.
A rank system.
Exactly. It's not just anybody anymore. Like, it's.
And you know what's cool? Right here in Visalia, California, we got some of the highest ranked dudes in the whole thing. So they got spots. They're in there.
Yeah, it's
great. You know what I mean? They're in there, dude. It's awesome.
Josh is probably going to compete, and it's going to be his black belt debut. It's going to be amazing. He's going to do awesome.
It's going to be great. And Fight to Win, man. With Fight to Win, will be coming back in as soon as he gets a chance. He'll be coming back over here. It'll be all going again soon. You know what I mean?
So,
I know Archie wants to compete. I want to compete again in one of these tournaments. Hopefully. I would love to do that Fight to Win is what I would like to do.
You know what? This tournament pans. I probably won't compete for different reasons, but the timing. But gosh darn it, if I was able to, the timing was lined up, man. You're paying for the tournament just like if it were to be in LA, and we drive to LA. It's like about $100 in gas. Well, guess what? The round trip, I hear it's about $100 round trip in the flights. Like what?
Yeah, they're selling those flights cheap.
Are they?
Yeah, nobody wants.
How much is it for a flight to Florida?
Yeah, I'm saying Florida, $100 round trip, more or less. I heard.
No way.
From LA. From
Los Angelinos, man. Who knows?
Interesting.
But still, anyhow. But yeah, I mean, but
you better have your cards lined up and your shit together, though, if you're going to go over there and compete in Florida. Because there's some bad fucking dudes in Florida doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's deep
over
there.
Don't underestimate.
It is deep right there. It's like a Brazilian jungle right there in Florida. It is, dude. All respect. Straight up respect.
Absolutely, dude. Man. That's a dangerous place for jiu-jitsu.
What else was I going to say, man? Oh, I'm going to announce it right now, man, because, hey, dude, September 2nd, guys, if you're watching the podcast right now, I'm going to put out a video for it. Hey, but this guy's been hard to line up. Took me a while to get this guy. But the next guy, he's one of the first American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. One of the first people to receive a black belt under Rigan Machado. Oh, wow. And he's been around forever. And his name is Chris Howder.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm probably saying his name wrong. But the Dirty Dozen, he's part of the Dirty Dozen, the first 12 American black belts. Okay? He's the 7th one, I believe, if I'm getting the history right. But this guy, I met him like 15, 16 years back when I was young. And I took a trip down. Well, it was one of those trips I just looked up on the internet and just drove down to a school. And it happened to be a Rigan Machado school in Torrance, California. And I just walked in as a white belt, and I took this. And I remember taking this class, and Rigan Machado was there teaching, but Chris Howder, he was a black belt at the time, but he was a white dude with a black belt. One of the first times I'd seen that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was right there. He was like his co-instructor. You know what I mean? And that night it was a trip because I'd never seen this. And I'll talk about the story more when we get him on the podcast. But they promoted a couple dudes that night. And it was the first time I had ever seen this. It was like a ritual, man, when they did this promotion. This guy was getting his blue belt. This kid was getting his blue belt. And I remember it was after this class, Rigan taught the class, and Chris just kind of went around and helped people. But I remember when they promoted this kid to the blue belt, he took his gi top off, and the whole class lined up in these rows.
Oh, man.
2 rows, and they all took their belts off.
Oh, gosh.
And he had to walk through this row.
The gauntlet.
And before he did that gauntlet, that Chris Howder guy gave this little speech. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who this guy was. I had no idea he was part of this Dirty Dozen or whatever. You know what I mean? He was just some white dude with a black belt. And he told the whole class, it was a big-ass class, too. And he told me, he said it real loud and made it clear. He's like, if you hit this guy too hard with that belt, you're going to have to walk through this line.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Hey, and nobody did it too crazy. You know what I mean? Hey, but that dude got fucking whipped.
Oh, bro. I've
never seen it. Since then, I've never seen it again.
Yeah, I've never had to walk the gauntlet, but I know some
guys
that definitely do still.
I have known people that have,
yeah.
But I had never seen it, dude. And that was the first time I seen it.
I don't know if that guy, Monterey.
That was my first time seeing that guy. But then after that, I seen Chris Howder in a bunch of different tournaments. Like, he's a competitor.
Yeah.
But anyway, the guy's a real. Yeah, dude, he's a real historian, and dude, he's got all kinds of cool stories. And he's been around. I mean, he's been around the jiu-jitsu from way back then, dude. Like, he's one of the first dudes, American dudes, to get the black belt. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a little more history onto our story that we're building here with this podcast.
Yeah,
dude, like I said, from episode 1, if you listen to all the jiu-jitsu, or mostly almost all the podcasts, but all the podcasts that me and Archie have had these like high-ranked jiu-jitsu dudes on, it kind of all tells a story, right, Archie?
Yeah, it's an evolution. It's amazing how it spreads out. You know, both north and south. There's some connections there, right? I mean, and the coast
from Brazil to here.
Yeah, Mark's spreading out the connection out to the coast there.
And Mark, you're part of the deal. That's why we had you on. hey, you're part of that story from here in the Central Valley, and now you've spread over there to the coast. Hey, dude, it's part of the deal in some way or another. It's part of the story.
I'm the black sheep, dude.
The black sheep in the bunch.
I'm the black sheep that's attacking your legs all the time.
What about Ben? Ben's in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Well, there's another guy come from Elite. He's in Wisconsin. He started Elite in Wisconsin.
It seems like a nice gym too. He's got a good program going. So
Ben, who is it? Who's Ben?
He's got to show up every day.
Ben, what's his last name? Mark.
I'm not sure. I never got a chance to train with him. He's one of the guys that Tom promoted, and unfortunately, I never really got a chance to train with that guy. But I hear he's got great technique and he's a great instructor, so that's cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Awesome. Well, the best of luck to Ben that's out there. Maybe we'll get him on the show one of these times.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not sure if we're doing a show on Tuesday since that show's going to be on Wednesday, the 2nd.
Right. No, we'll do it. We'll move it to Wednesday, so it'll be good.
So our next show will be episode 103 with Chris Howder.
That's it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That gives me some time to prepare for it a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. No, they'll definitely, Tom. And so let's just, how about giving a little shout out to our friends here?
Guys, there's my guy, Anthony Torres, again right there. He's one of the fighters to sponsor. Hey, one of our sponsors, guys, Venom Drip, Combat Sportswear. Guys, Venom Drip, man, they got you covered. If you want a good T-shirt, you want a long sleeve shirt, a sweatshirt, a beanie, a hat. They got some really cool stuff, man. For you want to sport when you're going to your little local MMA event, or you just want to wear some cool gear around. Hey, they're local. They look at their Zill Jiu-Jitsu. She's a local. Hey, what I like about Venom Drip, guys, they support our locals and they sponsor our locals, and that's what we're about, helping the locals out. Hopefully, we can help a local out in some way or another. Venom Drip, thank you for your support. We appreciate you guys. What else you got to say about Venom Drip, Archie? What do you think?
No, I think Venom Drip's on the right track, man. They're supporting the local community, and they want to expand their brand a little bit. So they're actually also working with another guy, J&J Mobile. He's actually part of the banner there behind you, Tom. So Venom Drip is trying to make some noise out there and sell some shirts, right? Their apparel. So not only are they working with us, they're working with another media marketing company out of Tulare, J&J Mobile. So heck yeah, man, these guys are putting in the work, right?
Cool.
Yep, and they're trying to make money, man. Look, at the bottom line is, hey, dude, these are tough times we're living in, and this is America. You have to hustle, and you could beat around the bush or whatever. Oh, this and that, there, this and that. Look, dude, it's the truth. They're trying to make money, and you should support your local. If you get a chance to support a local dude, hey, dude, what are you doing, man? Why not? Why not support the local guy if you can?
Yeah, I got a shop. If you guys, if anybody out there wants to get some Eliteteammonterey gear, I got some cool stuff on my shop. So
there you go. Just nice. Like that.
Just like
Same
that.
Thing. Dude, especially when a guy's running the gym or whatever right now. Hey, if you're a student, dude, I'll tell you what, you'll find out right quick, all you guys out there with gyms. And I've already talked to a lot of the coaches that have gyms. You're going to find out real quick, dude, who the real students are, man. The ones that stick around and they keep in touch with you while this thing's going on. Hey, dude, and they're waiting for that gym to open back up. And they're still, if they can support you in any way, they will. But when that gym opens up, they're going to all be lined up. You're doing a smart thing, Mark. You're still you're like thinking of ways to evolve. Because one thing I know about you is you like to evolve. Hey, and when you open your gym back up, look at guys, that gym's going to have more mat space. Mark's going to have more things. He's going to be eager to work with you guys, more knowledge to share. Dude, more wall mats, as you were saying.
Yeah.
It's going to be on and popping, dude. If you're around Monterey, guys, I know you jiu-jitsu guys, you love to get jiu-jitsu. Whenever I'd go on vacation sometimes, I'd always want to know, like, where the jiu-jitsu spot was going to be.
The best.
Hey, dude, while the family's over at the hotel room at the end of the day after Monterey Bay Aquarium, you go over to see Mark and get a little roll in.
That's it. That's the
there
best.
You go.
I love having visitors. I got guys coming from the UK. I got guys coming from
it's great.
Freaking Germany. Like those
are some of the best.
Time.
Hey, those are some of the best experiences ever with jiu-jitsu. When I had my school open, that was one of the coolest things ever, man. Is you get a dude from here, you get a guy from there. You meet all kinds of people from all over the world, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. You build some good relationships, man. It kind of gives you perspective.
It is a trip, man. Through this jiu-jitsu life, I've built a ton of different connections. a lot of the people I've met guys through Archie, and Archie's met a lot of different guys through me, right, Archie?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is the funnest part of it all, just networking and having because we're practitioners. Not only are we here talking about it, but we actually do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool that we have opportunities to go visit places. We're going to add Monterey Elite Jiu-Jitsu to that list.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, like some of the guests we've had on here, dude. Hey, like Batata, Sanjo. I can't say like me and Batata we're great buddies or whatever. Nothing like that. But that guy, I didn't even think the guy would remember me. But he was new. You know what? He was new to America and doing his thing. And I was new to traveling to these schools. And me and Luis Gonzalez would go. That's how I met Batata. We would drive up there. And it was a good amount, a handful of times. You know what I mean? But, dude, this was 15 years ago, right, Archie? Yeah. Hey, and when we got the guy on the show, hey, and because of that connection, now we got him on here. Hey, dude, and that – he's cool as fuck, right, Archie?
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, he's a good guy.
And he's already showing his techniques over the.
There you go. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's fun. So let's just close it up, Tom. Thanks for everything, Mark. Tom, I'll let you just close it up. And been a heck of a time, and just learning about each other, and just kind of learning about different techniques that are out there from Monterey.
Exactly. Well, guys,
the messenger.
Yep.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, guys. Whoever watches the show, man, we appreciate it. That was episode 102. And thanks a lot, Mark, for taking the time. This was last minute. I just hit Mark up yesterday, and we put this all together in 2 days, right, Mark?
Perfect. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, dude, I'm one of the biggest procrastinators, man. Me and Archie, I think that's one thing we both have in common.
No,
hey, imagine Archie. And yeah, you are, dude. Hey, if I was actually to take like 3 or 4 days to put one of these things together, I could probably put together like something so sick. So that's the plan, is for me to Archie's. I'm just kidding with Archie.
It's good to work fast. Though. It's not. It's I like to be able to pump out those videos fast because Dude,
I want to learn how to do it though. I'd like to get myself to where have more notes written down, and then learn how to do the editing a little bit better and all these different things. I noticed when you sent me that video, you did it pretty right quick, but you're pretty good. Well, I'll talk to you about it more later, maybe offline.
Yeah, I can definitely share. But yeah, it's just been since I opened the business, I really leveraged social media to try to grow this thing.
Hey, I'm gonna talk to you more though. I'm gonna hit you up, man. I was gonna hit you up. I won't do it right now, but about the editing and putting the movie, music in the background. I'll talk to you more about it, my brother.
Yeah,
Philip DeLay. Philip, thank you for tuning in, big dog. We appreciate it. I can't wait to see you back at work again, man. You enjoy that time off. Awesome. Hey, everybody else out there, dude, share these damn videos. Hey, it takes a second, dude. Yeah. You know what can get me and Archie to the next level? If people would share these videos and we get more views. All it takes is you just sharing it. Did you share it one time? Maybe one guy watches it. That's one more view. Put it on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, dude. Whatever you got to do, man. Please share these videos that me and Archie make. I'm not begging you. I'm not begging anybody. But I'm asking nicely. Like it and share it. Hey, the next one's going to be sick, dude. 103 with Chris Howder.
Is this
the Dirty Dozen.
Is it on YouTube, Tom?
They are on YouTube, but for some reason, most of the views are on the Facebook way that we do it.
That's fine.
Which is good.
It's on both YouTube and Facebook. YouTube, on Facebook, it gets lost, right? Because it just kind of goes down. And so does it on YouTube, but it's a little easier to browse it. YouTube has the videos there as well.
I'll make sure to share it then and get people to subscribe. Because
when I look it up on YouTube, I get all bummed out, though, because when I look at the YouTube views, there's like 1 or 2 or whatever. Yeah. Like, damn, nobody's watching it. But on the Facebook one, that's where all the views are at, it seems like. So I don't know what the difference is there. We're learning now still. We'll figure it out.
In the right direction. You're definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah, we're leveling up a little bit each time. But anyhow, guys, this next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to have Chris Howder. Just Google Chris Howder, Dirty Dozen. You want to see some history on Jiu-Jitsu? It'll be interesting, though. If you guys like stories about Jiu-Jitsu, if you're in love with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you want to hear a little bit of history, right, Archie? It's going to be a great history lesson. Probably some pretty cool stories too, I imagine. And also, we're going to break out. It's going to open up another door because there's another instructor right here in Visalia that's kind of low key, but he's very talented and he's very knowledgeable. Is Mark Casada.
Oh yeah, Mark's
now Mark Casada is under Chris Howder. Now Mark, he's another difficult guy to get. Maybe this podcast just on his thing. I will get him sooner or later, but this dude has been around the game for a long time too. He's an OG right here in town. Doesn't flaunt himself or nothing like that, but he is here. You know what I mean? And it's a basic style of jiu-jitsu, really good.
Nice.
So he's under Chris Howder. We'll talk about that more on Wednesday, guys. I'll put out a video too. We'll talk a lot more about it. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you, Mark. Wish you and your family the best over there in the Bay. I hope everything goes good for you guys. Archie, thanks again. Yeah, I'll stay on with you, Archie, until we close down here for a second.
All right. Thanks.
Everybody out there, hey, if you get a chance to help somebody out there in any kind of a way, do it. You know what I mean?
All right. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Mark. It was awesome. We'll do it again.
Thank you, Mark. You helped us out, buddy. Thank you.
Awesome. Later, guys.
We're going to sign off. Thanks. We're going to sign off with